Rounding turn 4 for the first time ever, coming off his first win in a long time. Little Jaw, Cinderella's glass slipper fits. Jaw's gonna be your Season 17 Cup Series.
I'll be honest, I planned on making this video all the way back at the end of the Season 17. But here we are, 3 seasons later. So what has happened? Did Zorgo continue his dominant story? Did Coop come back from the winless season? Is Kitty a Pro Series champion? Well, 3 seasons later, and I have your answers. But wait a second, is that the Gen 7? Is that Super in the Final 4? Hold up, is that Catfan and Zach having multiple wins in a single season? What the hell is happening? Well, if you want to understand where we are, you have to understand where we were. And oddly enough, you don't have to go that far. At the end of Season 16, Divisional was at an all-time high. I mean, coming off back-to-back seasons where we had points championships go right down to the wire, with Dino and Zorgo collecting their second Cup Series titles, and Little Jaw in Season 17 picking up a Cinderella story. You know, it's easy to think that their success would continue. And at the end of the season, it's looking like, nothing could happen but get more and more competitive. And while you would be correct if you thought that, you would have to be a time traveler to predict what would happen next.
The final time, into the tri-oval, the 78, out front. He will, 4 Daytona 500s, Zorgo wins.
Oh yeah, Divisional is back alright. No, but seriously, what a story. Zorgo announced at the beginning of Season 18 that it would be his retirement year, and it makes sense, boasting a 2-champ tenure, over 15 wins at the time, and so many more seasons where he coulda, shoulda, woulda. However, don't call those losses a bust. Zorgo may honestly be in contention for the greatest of all time, and while he enters his final year coming off a sad loss, he opens up Season 18 with his 4th career Daytona 500 and leads the points. After Daytona, we head to Chicagoland, Kansas, and Atlanta. 2 of these tracks are pretty similar, but with an interesting new highline mechanics added to the league, it was anyone's guess who would win at Chicagoland and Kansas, and boy was it a wild one. All race long at Chicagoland, we were seeing Declan, Kitty, Catfan, and Little Jaw dominate the race. Following that was a snooze fest in Kansas, but one that provided us a little more proof that Unk still has it, where Zorgo took a 2nd win on the year already. But here's where it gets interesting. Atlanta rolls around, and this is a track where we are more than excited about, because last season, this produced one of the most memorable finishes of the year, and rolling into this race, we expected no less, and boy did it not disappoint. And he hold it, Dino! Here comes the 28! He hasn't won in ages! Down, off turn 4, coming to the line, the 28, the 42, side by side, it's close! While this did wind up being MSGP's only win as a team, it's still pretty cool that we got to see a finish this close. The following race brought something interesting. It's kind of sad how little he gets mentioned now, because hate him or love him, Coop is one of the greatest to ever grace the racing scene here. However, Season 11 champion has had a rough few seasons. In Season 15, he seemed to be his normal self, but after some races where he should have done much better, he wasn't even in the championship contention. However, in Season 16, he had an amazing resurgence going all the way to the end with Zorgo. However, tied at 4 wins apiece, Coop conceded the title to the 17 car. It was a hard loss for sure, but one he didn't let hurt him too badly. He had an amazing year, and in Season 17, he was ready to prove himself yet again. And while he did make the Final 4, and he did have an average finish of 2.7, he went through something we never expected. Coop, for the first time in his entire Pro Series career, went winless. It's easy to see why, when you look back, the setups were changing, and while he was still no doubt good, he was overshadowed by his new teammate, Declan, who had nothing shy of a dream season. However, come Season 18, Coop was ready for a change. And while he did copy Zorgo in changing his number, it seemed to work, I guess. Long story short, Coop won Las Vegas, the next race on the schedule, which made sense for him, one of his best tracks, and both of his teammates finished right behind him. Then came the Monster Mile, where something even more surprising happened. Catfan, who at the time had only 2 wins in his entire career, which came all the way back in Season 10. He swept the stages and won Dover. And if you want to see something a little bit more interesting, you don't have to look too far. Finishing third was Zach, who had a lucky super speedway win on Great Lakes Racing all the way back in Season 14, but has returned to the series, replacing Coop in the number 16 on Team Bonsai. With a solid day like that, Team Bonsai seem to be back at the top of the charts. Can they finally shut down the three-peat championship from DWO? Who knows? Anyway, we need to fast forward a bit because this video could take forever. So, how about some quick covers?
Lightning round.
In Darlington, Catfan swept the stages again, but lost to Zorgo on an overtime finish. Then, Catfan got his revenge at whatever we decided to do at this road course, but then he won again at the Brickyard 400 and Homestead, completing a 3-in-a-row miracle, which hasn't been done since. But following the regular season championship at Homestead, we opened up the playoffs in the same place for a doubleheader. And while Catfan sure showed speed once again, this finish should speak for itself. On his bumper, he's going to set up for turn 3. What will he do? For the final time, down to the bottom goes the 54. Whoa, my camera glitches, but the 54 makes the pass, off the corner, Kong, out front, he's gonna win it in Homestead, Miami. The finish may have seemed a little underwhelming, but seeing a driver like Kong win in the modern era of the league was a real wake-up call that things were set to change. Although, Zorgo did win the next week at Rockingham. However, after that, we headed to Phoenix, where we all expected a good race, but we didn't expect the speed from Little Jaw, who swept the stages. However, in Stage 3, he fell off in the final few laps, and emerging victorious was someone who we had mentioned earlier, Zach. Look out for more of this guy in the future. After this, everything continued as normal, with Catfan, Coop, and Zorgo splitting up the next few wins. But you may be noticing someone missing from this list of winners. Coming off fresh from one of the hottest rookie seasons since Zorgo in Season 9, Declan is winless. I mean, how? He just came off a record-breaking 7-win season and a near championship win. Now he's not even in contention for the Final Four, and with no wins and only 3 races left, it's looking like his rookie campaign might have been a fluke. So how would he perform at Auto Club?
What's he gonna do?
Oh, it's
He goes
a
low!
great move. Is it enough?
Side by side!
Looks like it. It's gonna be
Out
a
of
crazy
turn 4
finish.
for
Here
the
they
final
go.
time!
The flag.
78.5 with
It's
momentum!
gonna be close at the line. It's gonna be the
And the 5 car gets it!
What a finish, right? Well, it wouldn't much matter for his playoff run. It's the last box he needed to be checked to stay relevant, though. So now, we head into the penultimate race into Martinsville. And boy, did this race not disappoint. In my opinion, this is one of the best and longest race win battles we've ever had. And Catfan prevailed, albeit over a faster coupe in my opinion. To get this win, Catfan ties Zorgo at 6 wins on the year, and heading into the Final Four in Milwaukee, we had an interesting looking Final Four. Coop, on a comeback season, is looking to win his 2nd Cup Series title. However, he's been off. He hasn't been the same driver who was a contender week in and week out, and it's looking like he will end his career with a 2-win season. Then, we head to Zorgo, already a 2-time champion, looking to end his career with one last hurrah and possibly cementing himself at the top of the league all time. Then you have 2 drivers who a couple of seasons ago would have been lucky to finish top 5 in a race, but nonetheless, the times have changed, and Zach is ending nothing but a short of a dream consistent year, and Catfan is looking like the next Zorgo with 6 wins on the year already, and heading to a place where Zorgo has quite literally never lost at. It's looking like it's going to be hard to lose. However, there are 2 things you're forgetting. A young rookie driving for Zorgo in the number 08 Ford, and one reason you should never count Coop out. Vortex to the inside. This might hold it for Coop. For 3.
Here and
out
the
of
wash,
4.
the
Coop
wash
is a
allegations are gonna
2-time
end.
Cup Series champion and divisional. The 1 car's back. Obviously, this championship wasn't deserved. Hell, there's a real argument to make if he won the championship in his winless season, it would have been more deserved than Season 18. Nonetheless, it's hard to say Coop was a bad driver when your statistical worst season in Cup boasts 3 wins and the championship. But with that out of the way, Coop and Zorgo were gone. And Catfan was also kind of gone, but let's not talk about that. During the offseason though, 2 things pretty big were announced. And if you know me, you were surprised as everyone to know that Divisional would be switching to the next gen car bodies. But that's not all. A little more of a sad announcement. Little Jaw announced that he'd be stepping away from full-time racing in Divisional after season 19. God damn, DWO just could not catch a break. Anyway, I mean with Zorgo gone, it's already going to be a struggle for Jaw to carry. But Dino hasn't won since season 16, and while Vortex seemed promising, he doesn't seem ready to carry the flag for one of the greatest teams ever. We open up in the World Center of Racing, and if you thought last season's 4-time Daytona 500 winner was wild, you'd be crazy to think that it could happen twice. But yes, Super NASCAR Bros won his 4th Daytona 500 in his career, proving himself once again as one of the best plate racers of all time. Going into Homestead, expectations were high, and it didn't disappoint. In one of the greatest racers ever in Divisional, Little Jaw took home an early win in his retirement year. After that, we had some interesting moments. Laser, a rookie in his first ever start for DWO, took a trophy home in Auto Club. Zach backed up his season 18 win with another cup in Phoenix. And yet another rookie took an exciting win in Michigan. After this, however, we had 2 of the most interesting races all year. Chicagoland, it was a fuel strategy kind of day. However, with a late race yellow, Vortex's fuel strategy seemed to be stripped away from him. But when the green flag flew, he held the lead for his first career win. Following this race, we head to Rockingham for the throwback weekend. Since season 17, Rockingham has kind of become a more fan favorite racetrack. And while Zorgo won it in season 18, it seems to have a good history already of unusual winners, with Little Jaw punching his ticket to his title way back in season 17. However, this might be the most unusual one yet. While Great Lakes Racing is one of the better teams in history, they seem to be a dying light in this day and age. And while they had a shimmer of hope earlier this season at Gateway, they've just been overall quiet. But out of nowhere, finishing both stages and picking up his first career win in the Cup Series, Fun Guy took a win in season 19 at Rockingham. As of now, he's running on a brand new team, and he's doing just fine. It's weird, really. This was a guy who seemed to be as big of a field filler as Corey, and yet now he sits at the top of the league with the biggest chance to win a championship as Hallows. Oh yeah, Hallows. Let's fast forward all the way to the playoffs. We jump over Zach picking up a win in the Brickyard, and Declan picking up his only win on the year again in Watkins Glen. But someone we haven't talked about since season 17 is back, Hallows. He's had an interesting career up to this point, no doubt. He had one win in his rookie year with Great Lakes Racing at Auto Club, and then followed up a Double Crown Jewel win in Daytona and Indianapolis in season 17. However, season 18 was an off year. While he didn't find Victor Lane, he also switched teams halfway through the year to Haas X Bonsai. And while the team was certain to have a better year, I don't think anyone expected the season 19 playoffs. Hallows opens up with a shocking win in New Hampshire, and then Ariel follows up with back-to-back wins at Homestead and Road Atlanta. He looked to win 3 in a row at Indianapolis road course, if not for Laser picking up a fuel strategy win late in the year to round off a solid season for him. Then Ariel picked right back up where he left off with 2 wins at Road America and Iowa. That sandwiched Vortex's second win of the year at Pocono, in rather close fashion. With 2 races left before the finale, Hallows took yet another win on the season in Darlington, and Little Jaw picked up what would be his last full-time win with a fuel strategy night in Bristol. Going into the championship, however, unsaid reasons kind of took Ariel out of the league, and our final 4 were set. Hallows, an underdog new winner at the top of his game. Declan, a consistent but another sad year for the 5 team, looking to end nicely at one of his best tracks. Little Jaw, in his retirement year, looking to do what Zorgo couldn't. And Super, who's honestly just happy to be there, who had a 1-win year, but a pretty consistent one. And after what, in my opinion, is probably the cleanest championship race we've had in recent memory, Hallows took home a Pro Series championship. Look, the facts are right in front of you. The league has changed. I mean, since that first race I mentioned, all the way back at the end of Season 17 at Homestead, we've had 12 different winners. And if you think that's crazy, Season 19 held 9 of those winners just in the damn regular season. Hell, they weren't even separated by repeat winners. All 9 of those different winners came back to back to back to back. And if you think that Season 20 was going to be any different, I wouldn't get your hopes up. As of right now, when I'm recording this video, we are 7 for 7 on different winners on the year. Hell, some of them being drivers who are picking up their first wins ever, and some of them being ones who are picking up wins for the first time in years. Safe to say, times have changed since the resurrection of Divisional. And I'll be the first to say it. While this may be the last time we ever see a full Divisional season ran, there is no crazier time to be a fan of the sport than right now. And while we may never see any record breakers or any crazy battles down to the end one more time, I don't think we need to. The field is set. This is proof that with each growing year comes an even more competitive one. And I, for one, am glued to my screen, waiting, watching, because it's going to be a crazy season. And if I were you, I wouldn't want to miss it. Thanks for watching.